we love to say, I've got 10,000 people coming to my website, or I have 500 people coming to my website, or I have 100 people coming to my website. Don't get hung up on that number because that number doesn't matter. It's the
Right.
percentages of the conversions that you're seeing that matter.
Welcome to the Other 99% podcast. I'm your host, Lisa Duck, a coffee loving direct sales enthusiast who's obsessed with a good digital system. Come join me for a realistic look into the world of direct sales. We'll explore inspiring perspectives, learn about unique business tips, and celebrate success stories that often go untold. Because on the other 99%, every seller matters. Hey everyone, it is me, Lisa, and welcome back to another episode of The Other 99%. We're here today with our co-host Susan Larimer and our special guest who we love having, Miss Sammy Bedell Mulhern, and we're going to be talking to you guys today all about something that are near and dear to Susan and I's heart and Sammy's websites, and specifically how to use them to capture leads so that you can basically build your business. I'm going to pass it over to you, Sammy. Do a little brief intro of who you are and what you do, just in case some of the listeners don't know who you are.
Yeah, I'm Sammy Bedell Mulhern. I am a digital marketing strategist and website designer and developer, and I do a lot of coaching on website strategy because there's lots of platforms out there. There's some here that I know we love dearly, but whatever it is that you're using, we love to just kind of let people know how to best make more money off their website. Whether we work a lot with nonprofits, whether it's raising more money, whether it's doing more sales, whether it's getting more conversions. So really figuring out how to maximize your website to be the hub for the goals that you need for your business and how you're trying to make money and grow.
And can I
Awesome.
just say I love seeing the 3 of us together.
It's been a minute.
So long. It's been so long, so just seeing I don't know if everyone can see the 3 of us together, but this is like a little welcome home party.
I know it's so weird because we all met because of our direct sales business. And then each of us slowly were starting to venture into different areas and, bring in where our strengths lie. We're bringing that into our business. So it's funny that how it's evolved, but we're still sort of together. We all still are working seamlessly. So I love that.
Yeah, for
Yeah, it's
sure.
super fun to watch everybody's journeys for sure.
All right. So let's jump in and to talk about, well, they always hear us talking about Oh My High. So I know on Oh My High that there is a page that many of our users are using that we uh, call a capture and convert page. It might not
Mhm.
mean anything to anyone, but basically it's a place where someone could go on your website, find out all about you, and there's a place for you to capture their leads by giving them a freebie or something along that lines. So, Sammy, can you tell the listeners sort of why this is something that's very important to their business?
Well, I think the hardest thing is what we say a lot is you have to tell people what to do next. You have to ask them to take the action that you want to do. And so that's where I think we get stuck on our websites is, well, there's so many pages and where are people coming in from and what do we do? And, there's too many conversions or too many options for conversions on this page. So it gets a little bit overwhelming. So what's great for the capture and convert page is it keeps things streamlined and super simple. The format is there for you. You just drop in what you need. And it's great, I wanna be clear, for a warm audience. So think about it for if you're at a vendor event or, you're at a part or you're hosting a party and you wanna send people somewhere later, like, maybe they've already shopped or they haven't shopped yet and you're kinda closing out your party and you wanna send them somewhere. Or you're at a networking event or whatever where you're like, okay, I've met these people and I need them to take a next step. This page is perfect because they've already heard from you. They already kind of know a little bit about you. They know what you sell, they know the problem you solve. And what I love about it is side by side, you have the option for, like you said, the lead magnet to get people onto your email list. But you also have a really quick links, like your links page, where people can, if they're ready to convert into sales or whatever, immediately have access to those links. So they don't have to work hard to make the decision for where they're ready to go. Maybe I'm not quite ready to shop from you, but I like enough about what you said and what you presented. And so I like this freebie that you're offering. So I'm going to get on your email list. Or, yep, I'm ready to go. I'm going to join your Facebook group. I'm going to buy. It's all right there before they even have to scroll. Makes it easy.
And this should be on your home page, right?
I think that depends. I think your capture and convert page should be accessible, but I think it also depends on how you run your business. So if you're really um into like you're doing a lot of vendor events, you're doing a lot of in-person parties, you're doing a lot of parties in general, you're doing a lot of like that outreach and you want people just to come to your website to know exactly what to do and make that decision, I think that's great. If you're using your website for more of a I might be bringing in people from outside my geographical area, or I'm not doing a lot of outreach and my website is kind of what's doing the outreach for me through blogs and email marketing and whatnot, then I would say probably not. You probably want your homepage to be more introducing who you are and what you do. So I think it just depends on how your business is run.
Okay. And those links, I mean, we used to call it like a link tree,
Mhm.
or there was an app like Milkshake where you could like add a bunch of different buttons to, okay, just so
Mhm.
everyone is on the same
Yep.
page, what that looks like.
Now, what I love about Oh My High that differs from apps like Linktree or, Milkshake is that you have the ability to link everything all together. Your forms, your CRM, everything lives in Oh My High. You also have the ability to brand your URL. So it's directly pointing to a page on your website, which is huge because, I mean, I go to people and they say, "Oh, how do I reach you?" "Oh, go to lisaduck.com." Like it's super
Right.
easy for people to find me, right? And it has all the information there. Now, I love what Sammy was saying about like the different case scenarios on when to use it for your homepage and when not to. Just know that, like, I mean, if you are a brand new user and just wanted to jump in and give Oh My High a try, it is the perfect page to put as
Yeah.
your homepage while you're getting set up because it's something that is easily put together. We provide a template where it's just like drag, drop, click, change, and it's done in within minutes, right? So you can have a professional looking page as your homepage while you work on everything else behind the scenes. Then you can work on getting your homepage set up, right? Because this way, at least you have a place to send your leads and capture the leads. And like I said, it's branded. And so when you're putting that link on your social media accounts, it's not like linktree.com/Lisa Duck. It's lisaduck.com. This is where you're going. This is who you're going to get, right?
Yeah.
Well, and I want to throw one really quick thing out there. I know this isn't kind of the topic, but when you're thinking about your business name and your URL, my quick tip is write it out as a URL before you come up with your name. So when I started my business in 2017, I had my marketing business. I had no idea what I wanted to call it, whatever. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm providing marketing solutions. I'm just going to name it after my kids. So I called it H&E Marketing Solutions because those are the first initials of my kid's name. So that's what I came up with. Now, when I write it out as a URL, everybody says, oh, it's Handy Marketing Solutions, but it's H because it's H written out and E. So write out your business name as a
Yeah.
URL. Make sure it's not too long. Make sure it's easy. Yeah.
Lisa
Anyway,
has a good
that's my,
example of this.
yeah.
We were just talking about this yesterday.
It was so funny because Susan and I are both we're always rebranding and redoing our websites and stuff like that, right? But I was talking about rebranding my spiceitupwithlisaduck.com to still have that URL direct to it or like redirect to it, but I was thinking of making the actual URL something different. And I'm like, oh, something like the dish, but the dish happened to be taken. And then I'm like, okay, well, what about dish it? And I'm like, whoa, no, I can't do that because,
Sounds like a gossip magazine.
well, no,
Oh,
but
spell it out.
but when you spell it out,
Oh, yeah,
DISHIT, right?
Yep, got it,
And
got it,
I'm
got it.
like, no, we can't do that one. So, yeah, definitely spell it, write it down. Just because it sounds good doesn't mean it is good.
Correct.
Yeah. Awesome.
So we were talking about, the capture and convert. You have to capture before you can convert. And our goal as direct sellers is always to convert. So something that I did recently through Oh My High, we have some analytics, like the important analytics, I think. So like window shopper rate, click rate, open rate, like visit rate, how much traffic is going to your site. So not being very techy, I didn't know what all of those percentages meant. So I gave ChatGPT access to my website, susanlarimer.com, And I said, these are the numbers that I'm tracking, and these are the percentages. I'm like, tell me what they mean. So basically, what I found out is that I am good at getting people to my website, but on the homepage, I don't have a next step for them. I don't have anything capturing anything. It's just a nice homepage. I have my favorite products in there. So a lot of the links will take them directly to Lemongrass Spa, but there's not a very clear, let me guide you through the process I want you to go through. So that was eye opening. So if you have Oh My High, run your website through ChatGPT and say, these are my analytics. What does it mean? Or where am I falling short? Because now I know, as I'm rebranding and redoing my website, I know what to add and what not to have. So super handy.
Well, I think the key there, though, is also make sure you don't get hung up on, like, as you have conversations with people and you're talking about, well, I have, like, we love to say, I've got 10,000 people coming to my website, or I have 500 people coming to my website, or I have 100 people coming to my website. Don't get hung up on that number because that number doesn't matter. It's the
Right.
percentages of the conversions that you're seeing that matter. And I think we talked about this on an Oh My High training call with regards to email, like how you reverse engineer your website. It's actually pretty simple. So if people are coming to your page, but they're not taking action, then that's great. So pay attention to how they're coming to your page, figure out who that audience is. Then once they get to their page, if they're not doing anything, then it's like you said, either what they got when they got there was not in alignment with what they thought they were going to get, or there's nothing for them to do. Then if they take that action and they still don't buy, then you pay attention to, okay, well, what was my follow-up funnel? How did I connect with them afterwards? What was my follow-up conversation, right? So that's how you can easily kind of then take those percentages and decide where do I go in and tackle what part of the quote unquote funnel or process is broken. And I think the hardest part about that is we're so emotional about our businesses, rightly so. We care so much about what we're doing that sometimes we have a hard time taking a look at, well, but this is great language and I love it and people should really connect with this. And we don't think about it from the perspective like of our best customer who might be like us, but also might not. So I think, even to take your conversation with ChatGPT a step further to say, okay, well, this is who is my best customer. So I also want to make sure that whatever I'm doing is tailored to this persona. So you can kind of take yourself out of the mix and take yourself out of the emotionality. I don't think that's a word, but you know what I mean. And actually format the page for the user and not for what you feel looks best, reads best, sounds best, connects.
Yeah, which is exactly what we were talking to another friend last week about websites and everything. It's exactly what she said. Take the I out of your website and focus on who you are trying to attract. So that's really good advice.
Yeah. Another thing that I find that people struggle with is that they get it too personal to their company, their business,
Mm.
and people come to that website and they don't know that terminology. I remember specifically one time you were auditing a website homepage and you're like, I don't know what this TS means. Like what is TS? Like, so we have to look at this as it could be just anybody finding us on the web. And if they get there and they see all this lingo that only you as an ambassador or a consultant of the company understands, they're just going to bounce and because they don't know what else to do,
Mhm.
right? They don't know what TS is. It doesn't to them it doesn't say tastefully simple. They don't know that tastefully simple is all about making good food. Like so you have to spell it out, I think a lot of your stuff in layman's terms, right?
Correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
and right at an 8th grade level. Which I know always people get appalled because 'cause they're like, "But my people are smart," and it has nothing to do with intelligence, it has to do with the amount of information we have coming at us on a regular basis, and we scroll, and so if you're writing at an 8th grade level, it's easier for people to read and process quickly, they're gonna take in more of your information, and it's super easy to do. But yeah, remove the jargon, remove the acronyms, um, and write it personally. Because I think, Lisa, we see a lot too people copying and pasting their company
Mhm.
descriptions and company
Yeah.
language directly onto their website, and people can spot that um, immediately.
Yeah. That's a good place where you can use ChatGPT, right? It's like rewrite this so that it suits my ideal customer, blah blah blah, all that stuff and it will give you a nice paragraph that would make sense on your
Mhm.
site, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And it's funny that you say 8th grader. I always say 5th grader, so maybe I need to make my ChatGPT a little bit more intelligent.
I think you're fine. I
So
love it.
what are some really powerful ways we can capture? Like what are some really powerful downloads or freebies?
Mhm.
What give us some ideas.
Yeah, well, because so I kind of think about the capture part of capture and convert, whether it is on a specific capture and convert page or just any page. The capture is how are you bringing in their attention? Like, so capturing people on a capture and convert page is like, I'm a warm audience. I'm just ready to take action in what that is. I already kind of know a little bit about who you are, what you do. Connected with you. Capture on like a homepage or a blog page is that trust building. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, this person understands the problem that I have. There's somebody that can help me. I need to learn more. So like the capture's a little bit different depending on the page that you're on. And so is the convert. So a lot of times in direct sales, we want the convert to always be purchase. So we do a lot of buy now buttons or shop now. Here's the catalog. And that's great. Again, on a capture and convert page, 100%. Love it. But pay attention to the audiences that are coming to those other pages and what else they might need. So then if we think about kind of a cold convert, which I think is what you're asking, Susan, with regards to like a lead magnet or a freebie, um, we have these conversations all the time. And I think for me, I always lean on something that's more evergreen because then you don't have to change it all the time. So like if you're in makeup, you don't want to have your freebie be um color trends for spring because now you have to do it again in the fall and you have to do it again in the winter, right? You're setting yourself up for failure. But it could be, let's say for skincare, right? It could be grab your year-round guide for skincare for all seasons. So now you're still kind of able to talk about all those things, but it is more evergreen, right? So same for food. It could be grab your guide for my top 10 seasonal recipes year round. Now, you kind of run into some issues because if you're sharing product, some of that stuff might be discontinued. But that's where, and I'm going to get real technical here, but that's where it's like lead magnet goes to potentially blog posts, and the blog posts are what you're updating on a regular basis. So it's like, go here for my most current, updated top 10 fall recipes. So they can come back to that guide and come back to your website. You're only updating your website. But it can also be things like, I know I was talking to somebody with Paper Pie, and she really wanted to target people like teens and older kids, not just young kids, especially kids with learning disabilities. I'm like, that's great. So create a guide that's 10 ways to get your neurodivergent kid to enjoy reading, right? Maybe it's 10 tips or like our top 10 strategies for advocating for your child in school to help with their reading disability. Like there's so many things that you can do. You just got to think about who your audience is. And again, when you have that, when you have your website, when you have your product, when you know what your best sellers are and where you target, go to ChatGPT and ask it to give you like 20 ideas. Don't ever ask for like 3 or 4. Ask for 20 ideas and then you say, "Okay, right. These 10 are great. Let's whittle it down." And you just keep going until you really feel like you hit something spot on. But like evergreen is key. Quick wins, they don't have to be dramatic. People love checklists.
Mhm.
People love listicles like top 10, top 20. Um, People love quick wins. This is not the full transformation. This is a quick win so that when they get your emails, they want to keep reading because they know you've already provided them value.
So I was going to ask you this. So if somebody is doing like the top 10, what's your recommendation? Because I've seen a lot of people do my top 10 favorite products
Mm,
compared to like my top 10 recommendations for glowing skin, right? So there's a difference, and I think people
correct.
need to really see that, right?
No, that's a great point. It's always, like Susan said earlier, take the I out of it. It's how are you solving their problem? So that's why it's critical you understand who your audience is. And it might not be who your audience is now, but who you want your audience to be. So like as you guys have both, as we talked about at the beginning, like we're kind of always evolving our businesses and moving into kind of different areas and broader scope. So it might be that it's not who you are right now, but it's where you're going. So you want to try to build your list to start to convert people into where your business is going. So be patient with it. But 100% that example is spot on. It's about what they need and the problem you're solving for them, not about you talking about yourself and the products you love.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
got a lot of work to do. I talk about myself too much.
No, but I mean, I think there's a balance because at the end of the day, it's twofold, right? It's how many people sell the product you sell? A lot. So they do need to
Mhm.
connect with you as a person.
Right.
They also need to feel like you understand what they need from you. So it's kind of like the both and. But if you're going to ask somebody to give you their email address and they haven't purchased from you, it has to be about them. It
Mm.
has to be and then you can introduce yourself and connect with them on an emotional level.
Now, I love that you said, that you have to speak to your audience too, because I remember chatting with an Oh My High lady, and she was like building out this freebie, and it was for people ages 20 to 35, and
Mm.
she was going on about doing this, and I'm like, but is that your target audience? Like, is that who you speak to? She goes, no, but I was thinking about doing it for each like age group, and I'm like,
That's a lot
why
to manage.
bother? Like,
Mhm.
why bother? You need to talk to the people who are going to relate to you, who you can actually share information with. And if that's not the 20 to 35-year-olds, then skip it.
Or
And on
you
the
put them all
platform
into one. Sorry.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You just say like,
Yeah.
"Hey, here's my guide for all the ages." Because I will tell you, one of the top performing blog posts on my website, and I have let my Easy Style with Sammy website and podcast go for a while. It's being resurrected this year at some point.
Yay.
But my top performing organic blog post on that website has nothing to do with direct sales. It has to do with a post I wrote about how to communicate multi-generationally, right? So like how do I communicate with my boomer grandpa and my Gen Z grandkid, whatever. And that's the top performing post organically on my website. So like I think there's value in broadening it, and you could then target your main age group, but if you want to capture some of those 20 somethings, you might, but at least you don't have to do separate ones for every single thing.
Because if you're
Yeah.
capturing all those different age groups, you need to be on all the platforms too.
Oh,
You need to be on TikTok and Snapchat and Instagram and Facebook and I
Yeah.
don't know, you have to be everywhere, and that's a
Yep.
lot. That's too much.
Yep.
but I knowing being in skincare, and Susan, you're in skincare now, and I used to be, but knowing what I know, if you're past a certain age, the 20-year-olds are looking at you like saying,
Yeah.
taking any skincare advice from you, you
Irrelevant.
know? It's like, I don't have wrinkles, right?
Right.
So it's like, you need to talk to who's listening to you.
Exactly, exactly.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Hey everyone, just a quick pause to thank today's sponsor, CinchShare. CinchShare is a social media scheduler designed for direct sellers and creators alike. It's your go-to tool for planning, scheduling, and simplifying social media right from your phone. Built to take away the overwhelm, it lets you upload your own content, use a ready-to-share library, schedule across multiple platforms, or post on the go using the CinchShare keyboard. Want to learn more about CinchShare or grab a free 30-day trial? Visit lisadoc.com/CinchShare. Now back to the episode.
Okay, go back to the link tree. Is there a good number of links to have?
Yeah.
Or can you have too many links?
Yeah. So, I say start with, does each link have a purpose for what you're using it for first? So, yes, we could add links for every single category so that people can have an easy option to go shop our site and be like, okay, now I'm going to this and now I'm going to this. I mean, that can be too much. I know in the template, I think there's 5. I
I
love a
think
good
5, yeah.
odd number. I don't know why, but I think 3, 5. I wouldn't do probably more than 7. This is not scientifically proven, by me, but I would say, like, when we look at, like, website navigation, we typically recommend no more than 7, and that's, like, max. And then what's on the outside, so same with your stack, like, what's on the top and bottom are gonna be what people just, like, automatically see first, right? It's just like why we do the PS and email, because people skim to the bottom, they wanna see the end, and then they come back up to decide if they want more. Um, so I would say it's not about the number, it's about the intent behind the button and making sure that there's a very strong purpose for it. If it's only 3 and they're really impactful, I don't think you should feel pressured to have 5, you know?
So good question, like, what is the purpose of this button? What is the purpose of this link? And then what is the difference between the links we have in our header versus Linktree? You shouldn't have the same? Like, how do you know where to put what link?
Okay, so when we think about our website navigation, that's like the core pages that we want to direct people to, right? That's like your homepage, your about page, your shop page, your blog, your services, whatever, right? Like those key pages, your contact page. Those are pages that are typically not changing on a regular basis. They're staying pretty on brand. Maybe you're updating your homepage on a quarterly basis just to make sure that your products and stuff are updated. In your links, um well, okay, let me back up. Also on your homepage, I never recommend social media platforms be at the top of your homepage because if I land there, I'm like, oh, this is cool. She's got a Facebook. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to go Facebook. I'm going to doom scroll and I'm done. And you've lost me forever. But on a capture and convert page, if you have a really thriving Facebook VIP group or you are really active on a particular social media channel, I think that's okay to have then in those links. But you don't need to put all your social media unless you're super active in all of them. If you're super active, then fine. But kind of target people where you want them to go, again, based off of your audience and where you're most active. And then your opt-in is on the right side, so you don't have to worry about that. So I would say, core, your shop page, if you're at an event that is specific to a certain part of your company, like maybe let's say you are with Paper Pie and you go to a middle school event and that's how you're sending this page out and follow up, then maybe you do want to have a category that is like books for middle schoolers, right? And then maybe that's not on there all the time because it's so easy to change.
Mhm.
um I feel like I've maybe lost the core of your question, but uh
Just header versus Linktree.
yeah, so your links there should be much more specific, I guess is what I'm saying, compared to like what's in the main your navigation's more broad, core pages. Your link should always be changing based off of what's the biggest priority for your business where your navigation does not. That's the short answer to the question. Wow,
Yeah.
I rambled
And
there.
I would recommend that if you're doing a capture and convert page, it would be a standalone landing page. It's not going to have your header
Yeah, with
and
no
your footer
navigation.
on it. And however, one of those links could be like one in the middle, not the top or the bottom, but in the middle, it could put visit susanlarimer.com or right and take it off. Just remember, so any Oh My High users on here listening to this, remember when you have one of these capture and convert pages, any of the buttons that you have, especially if you're doing it as a no header or footer, you need to make sure that it opens into a new tab
Mhm.
because you don't want them to lose that original page, right? And then I'm just gonna go a little bit further with that. So on I don't and Sammy, you could chime in on this too. I don't know if I recommend having your capture and convert or your link page in your navigation. I would almost have it at the bottom. Like if you want to put a link to it, like I have a sort of like a sub navigation on the bottom of my footer where I have a few main pages that I want to highlight, and people will scroll and look for another navigation at the bottom. You could have your links page down there, but I wouldn't give it real estate on the top of your header personally.
Agree with that because like I said, it's two different audiences. Like if I'm coming to your capture and convert page, I'm already connected to you in some way, shape, or form. So I don't want to take up that real estate. That real estate's for people that are still trying to get to know me and find stuff and figure out if, yeah. Capture and convert page is a very specific purpose. Like, and also I would say, like, don't put blog in your capture and convert page just because you have a blog and you've published stuff, but it's been like since 2022 since you did it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so that would be another example, like relevant links that are active that you're actually using. And then, no, I agree. Keep it in the footer. The footer is a great place, very underutilized spot for additional links. And if you start now to pay attention to your behavior, like, okay, if you're job hunting, right? You never look in the navigation. You always drop to the bottom to look for careers. If
Mm.
you're looking for phone numbers or information or a map for how to get to a location, you're always going to the footer because you kind of know that that's where it's at. So people are definitely trained to go to the footer for some of those different elements. And then that helps you clean up your navigation anyway.
Yeah. And if you have the header and the link tree, like that's a lot of options. And
It's
then
too
you might
confusing.
lose people. Yeah, like I don't know where to go, so then they don't go anywhere.
Yeah, we better stop calling it Linktree. We might get in trouble
Oh,
for
I'm
that one
sorry.
because it's not really a link tree. It's
No.
just like linking links
Looks
so
like
that you
one.
know.
It's way prettier.
Ah, yeah. And then another thing I wanted to mention is like you don't have to have just one capture and convert page. You can have multiple capture and convert pages for different scenarios. Like Sammy said, an event, you could have one for your social media. You could have one for anything else that you're going, like maybe you have a or now I'm saying it, Susan, that you have a capture and convert page that is for business opportunity. Like,
Yeah.
what a great way to do that, like click here to learn more and it jumps off to a video that you're sharing about the business opportunity. Another link might link to what is included in your kit. This is one thing that I find that people very seldom include. And it's like I've been doing a lot of the capture and convert pages that have been coming in through Oh My High because we have like the done for you offer when we do certain workshops. And it's surprising how little links people provide. And hardly anybody will provide information about joining the business opportunity,
Mm.
right? And if you're
Yeah.
just doing a standard one, I mean, just one standard one, you want to give as much info as you can, like even in about work with me and tell them why it'd be great to work with you, whether it's shopping with you or like actually working as a consultant, right?
I think the problem is we start at the beginning, we don't start at the end. So we have this great template set up for us. We fill in all of our stuff and we're like, okay, great. Now we're off and running. Well, you have a great tool in your toolbox, but you got to use it in the right way, right? And beauty of direct sales and where you can take it, even in entrepreneurship and nonprofit, all of these spaces, you can do it however you want. There's some core strategies, but you can invent it however you want. So it's important to start at the end. So, okay, so my goal is to grow my team. So this is how I'm currently doing it. And then you kind of start. So now I need to make sure that I have my email system set up in the way that I want to be able to communicate with people that reach out to me. Okay, so then this is the freebie that I'm going to give people to get excited about my team. And so this is the page, the blog post or the page that I'm going to have on my website that's going to house that information about what it's like to be on my team. And then this is the social media strategy that I'm going to do to. So you just start from the end and you work your way forward. And that's how you make sure that your website, to your point, Susan, when you're looking at your analytics, that's how you make sure that and then you do it for each target. So now I'm going to target my customers. And depending on the size of your business, at some point you might say, okay, well, here's how I'm going to target my customers that are spending with me monthly. And this is how I'm going to target people that are spending with me quarterly. And it sounds overwhelming, but if you just do it one at a time, then you just kind of start to build in. Then at that point, you've already got the pages. Now you're just duplicating and kind of re-adding.
Mhm.
But those capture and convert pages is a great point to have multiple of them for multiple purposes because then again, you're not worried about how many links do I have on this page because you know they're targeted for a specific audience. It's easier to kind of edit yourself.
That's really good advice. Really good. Start at the end. What is your goal? And then go backwards. That makes me rethink a lot of
Well,
things.
because then, Susan, when you're looking at your analytics, now it's all in marketing is a numbers game. So now it's, okay, I don't know if I have 500 visitors to my website. I'm just making these numbers up. Is that good or bad? And then a certain percentage of them are converting here and a certain percentage are converting here, right? Now you're like, okay, 500 is actually great if I can just up my conversion to what's, industry standard because I have enough traffic. But maybe all of a sudden you're going to be like, okay, wait, if by the time people are actually making that conversion, it's only 1% of people to 2% to 5%, whatever. Now I know I need 1,500 people coming to my website in order to hit the numbers that I want. Now you know what you're doing with your marketing to kind of hit that goal. And we could spend You could probably do multiple podcasts on just how to set all that up. So I'm not trying to overwhelm you, but just start with the reverse engineering of it, get that system set up, and then track your metrics over a period of time and and go from there.
Yeah, and it makes so much sense, and right now, I'm just tracking how much traffic, and I'm like, "Ooh, look at my numbers go up, like, all of this traffic is coming, but nothing's happening from
Yeah.
it." So this
Well,
is
but then you get into a spiral. So, like, one of my biggest clients is a church. And so we just came out of the Christmas season. And so if you look at their analytics, it exploded, right? Because over the holidays, there's way more services. There's a whole lot more going on. So now when I go look at their analytics, it's like down 300%. And it's like, well, you could feel sad about that, but also like, so just always keep
yeah,
that in mind. Also, there's
true.
nuance. Or like you run a big email campaign and then all of a sudden you have a huge amount of opt-ins and then 30 days later it's like your new members are down 15% and you're like, well, that sucks, but there's a reason. So you always have to pay attention to the nuance.
I'm going to ask you this, and you're probably going to say, Lisa, but in
Great.
your in your professional opinion, in 2026,
Uh-huh.
how do you think? Like, how can I phrase this? Is it important? Just put it this way: is it important for somebody to have a website or at least a capture and convert page where they're building their brand and their own presence off of social media?
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yes.
Some
Do you want reasons for that?
Yes.
Um, okay, so two things. Let's leave the social media piece out of it for now. Just in general, let's look at both of your trajectories, right? You started in direct sales with a specific company, building and growing, very successful, and that's still on your heart, still something you love to do. But as you worked through that process, you started to realize there's other things that I'm excited about. There's other ways that I know I can help people in this industry. You started this podcast. You guys are both doing digital product. Like there's just it's grown, right? Having your website that you started when you did allowed you to kind of build on that growth because you were already starting to build an audience outside of just your direct sales space. So having your own website is something that allows you to already start to build that audience. So if you choose to go to a different company or if you choose to start doing some other things, you've already kind of built that audience, that base, people that are coming to you in a way that you own separate from anything else. The second thing that I will say to that is think about how you operate in your daily life. If you meet somebody, you Google them. Whether it's a company or a
we
person.
call
And
it
so,
stalking.
yeah, you know, I'm pretty good at it. I'm not going to lie, but it's there. And so if you meet somebody at a networking event and they see, okay, well, yeah, I met this person, I got their business card, but what are they really all about? They're going to go Google you. So even if it's not a huge, robust, just like you said, Lisa, if it's just a capture and convert page, that's fine. But you show up, you look professional, you have a real domain, and you're already kind of adding that immediate trust. So I think it's important for those two reasons. Now, the social media piece, I would say hasn't changed, but maybe has gotten a little bit worse. And now if you're big on TikTok, like that's the whole thing right now is in the US specifically, TikTok is people are feeling the algorithm shifts and things changing, right? Because of new ownership. And I haven't paid attention to that all that closely, but whatever. Things are always changing and shifting and you have no control. So you have no control over who sees your stuff. You have no control over what all of a sudden they decide is okay and not okay, all of that good stuff. So, and it's harder to capture and convert people from social media. You could have conversations, but then it's weirder to ask for their email address in a DM unless you have a close relationship than it is to do it on your website, I
Mhm.
think. Um,
Yeah.
so that's my long-winded answer, but
Mm.
yes.
Yeah. So I'm just going to put Susan and myself on the hot plate here because I'm going to say by the time this episode airs, we're going to have our very own capture and convert page set up. I already have one partially going. I'm sure you have one too. And we'll link it in the show notes so that you could go take a peek at what it looks like. Like I said, with Oh My High, they're doing workshops every month, I think it is right now. And usually, I'm not going to say always, but usually one of the options is having your capture and convert page done for you. You just fill out a simple form and then the team work and they get it done for you so that we're able to help you get your site up and running in minutes. So if you're a direct seller or a small business owner listening to this podcast and want to take a look at Oh My High, we highly recommend that you doing it. You do it. So you can visit either lisaduck.com or susanlarimer.com and take a look. We have links in our footer. I'm pretty sure, Susan, you have a link in your footer where you can go and learn more about Oh My High. But Sammy, I just want to thank you. I mean, you always come and I know that Susan's like, "Oh, that's a good idea." We always take information away from you, right? And
And
we'll
it's
get
on a
off.
good, like, 8th grade level so that I can understand what you're saying.
So you know that we're gonna get off this call, and Susan's like, "Oh my god, I gotta do this. Oh my god, I was like,
I notes.
"Oh
I tried
my,
to write them discreetly, but I was taking notes.
I seen you writing." But anyway, everyone, I just want to thank you again so much for joining us on another episode of The Other 99%. And we will see you again next week. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.
That's a wrap for today's episode of The Other 99%. We just want to say thank you. It truly means the world to us that you're here. Lisa and I absolutely love creating these episodes for you, and we're so grateful to have you in our community. If you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to like, share with a friend, leave a review, and subscribe so you never miss a new episode. We drop fresh content every Tuesday. Got thoughts, questions, or ideas? Leave us a comment. Want to be a guest on the show? We would love to chat with you. Apply by clicking the link in the show notes. Thanks again for spending time with us today, and we'll catch you on the next episode of The Other 99%.